Hi there, welcome. Thank you for being here today. I hope you're having a gorgeous day or night. We're going to dive on into love because it seems to be the theme that keeps coming through. So the divine truth is where we're going to begin. It's a collective reading. See what resonates. Always follow and trust that beautiful, deep, direct, divine connection that's in you to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe. The answer is always in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuitions. Your decisions are sound, they're based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's dive on in. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Grace, Consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. Wow. What would be helpful to know when it comes to romance? That somebody is planning something big for you. Maybe somebody is planning a dinner, a vacation, coming back with a surprise. I just heard coming back though. Maybe somebody went away for a little while. Maybe you don't even know that somebody's been making plans that somehow do involve you. I also feel like there's something about somebody wanting to get your input. So maybe somebody has like an experience planned, maybe I hear a big talk or a moment of something, but I feel like after an experience, after a conversation, after the initial whatever this person has planned, there's more to be planned, and that does involve you. It involves your input. I don't think somebody really wants to be the only one planning. So somebody has been preparing a love offer for you. So you got a little love offer coming in here. You will be shocked and surprised. So somebody wants to do something either out of their norm or something you do not expect. And I feel like it's maybe something that kind of catches you off guard, comes out of the blue. It could be just an unusual experience, but I also feel like maybe this person comes through differently, which is maybe what is shocking. Let's see. Why is planning coming on in? There's something about timing, or maybe it's not about the right perfect time, because it looks like there's almost like snow here and roses. I just thought of what was that, Kiss from a Rose? There used to be a man to tell you alone in the face. Is that Seal? Some Kiss from a Rose. It's a really pretty song. Maybe you like, also like, I think that's from Batman. Maybe you like Batman or comic books, superheroes. Maybe you like Seal. Maybe it's signed, sealed, delivered on yours. Woo, we got a little Stevie sneaking on in. I love that song. All right, let's see. Planning. I want to hear Stevie now. Is there anything else? What else would be helpful on planning? Maybe it's supposed to be a surprise. Maybe you're not supposed to know what this big plan is. Somebody's planning something because you fit them like a glove. You fit them, you know, like a perfect shoe size. You're not even the same shape, and yet you click together like nobody else. You're like two peas in a pod. You're my missing puzzle piece. We're made for one another. There's something about, even if you're really different, you being cut from the same cloth. So like in your soul, maybe you have to have patience with somebody. Maybe they're taking their jolly old time, slow as a snail. Maybe somebody is coming out of their shell. Extra message. So if somebody feels like you were just made for them, it's like you're the Goldilocks zone to this person. I feel like it's not just one person thinking that they're a fit to the other. It's definitely both of you jumping for joy here. Yeah, I'm getting like maybe even like different religions, but yet your core values. There's something that can be really different about you. You grew up in different parts of the world. You have different culture, you know, whatever it is. But there's something where you still kind of see eye to eye. It's like your hearts are connected in the right place. Let's see. Planning, missing piece. What else? Give us another message from the divine truth that would be helpful today. What is another message? Ooh, it's like a secret. What is it? Nourishment. You got this person here, all that food, and now you have somebody with all of that nutritious energy here. You even have like a lotus coming out of your head. Maybe there's something about a fern. Maybe somebody's name is Fern. I don't know why I just thought of Loki. Isn't that like the god of mischiefness? Maybe somebody's kind of like a little bit of a stinker puss. I'm not getting like bad. I'm getting kind of like, almost like, you know, like fairy energy here. Like, like, yeah, that's sort of what I get. Like somebody's almost like me, you know, maybe thinking outside the lines, doesn't really follow the rules. Maybe that's you. Maybe you kind of go against the grain a little, and yet you're still cut from the same cloth as this person. Maybe that's why you connect so well. Maybe if somebody's really structured, somebody's kind of, you know, off the beaten path, does their own thing. Maybe that's why you come to that Goldilocks zone together. You know, you kind of feed each other a little nourishment that the other lacks. I looked at that at 555. You feed my mind and nourish my soul. Your energy helps keep me going. I do think, just so some of you know, if there is a little secret plan here, it might involve sunshine. It might involve like either a forest, a park, a beach, even I don't know, like something that fills up your cup, something that makes you really excited. But I do definitely see even like the sunset, like let's watch the sunset together. There's even that looks like a tequila sunrise. I just thought of Margaritaville. Living on sponge cake, watching the sun bake, all of those tourists covered in oil. Strumming my 6-string on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, they're beginning to boil. Maybe it's all shrimp. Maybe somebody's making you a stew. Maybe somebody likes tequila. I just thought of something I told my friend the other day. She was going to karaoke, but she's not a singer. I said, if you ever have to go to karaoke and they really want you to get up and sing, tell them you'll get up and sing and then just do tequila. Na 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 na. Tequila. That's all you have to know. I'm just gonna give that out there for you. So you have to go to karaoke and you're not really the one that gets up, just do karaoke. Just, you gotta make it fun. Don't just stand there with the microphone all awkward. Na 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 na. You have to, like, you know, get into it a little. Give them a little show. You can do it. I believe in you. All right. What else? Moonlight. It's funny because I just saw the sunlight, the sunshine, and something in the maybe, hey, maybe if this is a date or a surprise, or this is something that's day and night and night and day. If for some of you, you are at a little distance, this is somebody looking at the same moon as you. It's very much somewhere out there, you know, somewhere out there. Beneath the pale moonlight, somebody's thinking of me and loving me tonight. The moon represents your emotions. So maybe somebody is feeling a little emotional, but emotions can be amazing. They're not always just like weird and heavy. Emotions can be fantastic and light and vibrant and free and exciting. So I feel like somebody is, maybe if they were a little bit dark, or they were going through it in the dark, or feeling a lot of heavier emotions, I feel like there's something that's been worked out, because you're going from the moon to the star. You're under the moon here, but you're pointing at that star, which is a wish, which is an opportunity, which is healing, which is guidance. And it looks like that star is pretty close to that person's hand. So there's something about this wish being very close to coming true, or feeling something in your hands. The moonlight is a reflection of your love. Maybe some of you see a really cool full moon, or even like a cool new moon. All right, is there anything else from the divine truth? Anything else that would be helpful to know on moonlight, nourishment? Woo! What is that? Missing piece, planning, daydreaming. Somebody's definitely thinking about you. I mean, I just saw the tequila person. It looks like, you know, even if you've only gotten up and sang tequila in front of them, you know, this person sees you as vibrant. They see you as dancing all of these different dances in their mind. they're looking at the sunflowers, which means they're reaching for opportunities. Also with that lotus, they've come out of a mucky situation and now they are blossoming in how they are perceiving something in their mind, because now that lotus is tapping into spiritual energy. It's unfoldment. I just heard untangled from something. Maybe you're also like the cherry on top of a situation. Maybe there's also something that has to develop over time. You're always on my mind, even when I try to forget about you. I feel like even if somebody, you know, is trying to forget about you because they actually have to get, I'm not getting like purposely try to forget about you. Maybe for some of you they are. You know, if somebody was at a distance, I kind of feel like that's past energy though. That you still, you're like, oh, really? You were forgetting about me? I guess I gotta pop up in your mind and I'm gonna do a different little dance here. So you're always on my mind even when I try to forget about you. I think it's more like somebody actually has some stuff to get done. Like they're, you know, they got to plan something, or they're at their job or something like that. Even if they're like, I see somebody in a meeting where they're supposed to be paying attention to the sides, you know, to the presentation, to the boss or whoever it is, even like something else. And it's almost like, I see the energy of somebody like doodling, you know, so it's kind of like they're supposed to be paying attention to the information being presented, but like their mind keeps going into, you know, daydream land, fantasy land about you. I looked at that at 11:11. Let's get one more, and then we'll go to the tarot. I actually just heard the universe. So we'll do the universe first, and then the tarot. So is there anything else from the divine truth on daydreaming, planning, missing piece, nourishment, and moonlight? I just saw this girl dancing in her lime pants. I just thought of Lime and the Coconut. Wow, a lot of songs come through. Harry Nilsson. But then I thought of Dancing in the Moonlight. King Harvest, which does connect us to new nourishment. So maybe there's a harvest energy coming through. Maybe seeds were planted, but preparation involved getting that wheelbarrow and sickle ready. I love that this came through. Out of this whole deck of cards, this is my favorite. It's my favorite. I said something about you being really different from somebody else, and yet you fit together like two peas in a pod or a horse and a dinosaur. This is somebody who just loves your weird. They love your quirks. They love your laugh. They love the way you dance weird. They love the way you can only sing karaoke and do tequila, or they love the way you get up there and you rock a room. They love the way you put numbers together or you figure out puzzle. I just saw somebody actually doing like a puzzle. Like, I don't know why I just thought of people, but even with that, I thought of like my grandparents that were in Florida. They would sit there and like just do the puzzle. Like, even if it's something like that, maybe somebody likes like Hawaiian shirts. It does look like you're doing something with a parachute. You guys have either a beach towel around you or you've got this like parachute thing. So maybe you're ready to like take a little leap of faith. You make me feel comfortable in my skin and I can be myself with you. I mean, that's a really good place to be. Whoever this is, if they feel like they don't have to hide anything, they can be them, you know, who they really are, with you. That's vulnerability. That's comfort. That's security. That's connection. And that's beautiful. And I just love that card because it's funny. All right, so let's see what this is about. Let's go to the universe, because I mentioned that. Let's get you a universal message, a big one, and then break it down a little bit. Oh, I did just stare at the mystery deck, so we'll maybe get one or two of those. I do like how they either bring an extra little message or they really connect to what's here. So what is the message from the universe that would be helpful on nourishment, moonlight, weirdos, planning, and missing piece? Please and thank you. It was kind of like a gentle little fall. What do we got? If you want to be more successful in your life, your priority should be to focus on your mindset, all that you want to attract in your life, and trust, which is like openness, that more is happening than, I mean, definitely if somebody here is planning. If this is somebody new coming in their life, and that's not somebody that, you know, is trying to forget about you over there, or looking at the same moon vicariously in the world, but not connecting to you now. This is the universe planning some important connections coming in your life, whether that's business or love, and something could be happening behind closed doors, you know, somewhere where they can kind of see the same moon, but maybe I just heard in a different time zone. Maybe somebody lives far away from you. Maybe many forces are at work in your favor. Allow them to help you. You have to be open and gracious and thankful to receive help when it comes in. Say thank you. You have something beautiful coming in. So, shall we do this? Yeah, why not? Let's get a couple. Let's go right to it. What are a couple of messages? So unusual. Oh, it's so beautiful. You know, maybe this is an unusual person in your life. Maybe you're starting an unusual project. Maybe you are the unusual one in an environment where, you know, everybody's like watching the thing and you're the one. I don't know why. I just heard cha-cha doing like the cha-cha to work. You know, like you're the one that kind of stands out. Maybe this person really stands out to you. Maybe this whole situation that you're in has just been kind of weird. Like a weird chapter in your life, but maybe it's weird and beautiful. Let's get another one. Maybe expect the unexpected too. Oh, okay. That's why this energy is coming through. So you got two flames. So for some of you, it's a twin flame situation. That would definitely be unusual. But that twin flame energy is not for union, romantic, be together, in a relationship kind of thing. It's so much bigger than that. It's just bigger than that. You know, that twin flame energy comes together to catapult each of you because you are the other half of the same cut cloth, the same kind of soul, where it's for something so much bigger in your spiritual evolution, in your enlightenment, in how you make all the connections in your world, how you bring, you know, where is this? How you bring everything that is like becoming abundant in your world, how you value success and what it is. If you have a twin flame energy, it's probably not an easy road. It's very personal to you, but you have to nourish yourself, be in that unconditional love and total allowance to however it works out. For some, these twin flames meet and then that was it. Yet that meeting changed it all. And for some, it is coming back together and being that power couple or changing the world with that love that you have together. But it's not about the partnership. It's not about the union. It can't be about that or it's not going to come in right. It has to be about the union in oneself. Because it's when somebody is already feeling like you are that whole and that you don't need somebody else to come in and fit in that puzzle piece or that situation. That's when you come in whole together, and that's why it works and clicks. Let's get another one. It could also be for some of you, when I see this, I do think of the Two of Wands. For some of you, it might be a really awesome business partner or just a really awesome friend in your life, where these two flames of spiritual fire kind of come together and you create this spiritual creative bonfire of possibilities that you can maybe do together or inspire each other to do on your own. Let's get another one. What is this? Accommodation over time leads to resentment and burnout. Okay, well, we just had two flames come out. If you are constantly accommodating somebody because you feel this big connection, or you're just, I don't know, that could also be someone else's energy. I mean, it's just a good thing to come through. It's a big message. You're always, yes, you know, I don't know why I want to say like, yes, dear, like that, accommodating someone to make everybody else happy, you know, but then you're not putting that energy into yourself. You are going to have burnout. You are going to get resentful because you're never putting that nourishment into your own truth or planning things in your life that make you feel successful, or experiences that are on your bucket list that you just daydream all the time that you wish you had in your life. You know, no matter who this is, it doesn't have to be a love situation. To always like be the one to say yes, or to people please, or to try to make everyone, you're never going to make everyone happy. Not everyone's going to always love you. Not everyone's going to like you. Some people are going to absolutely come in your life and be there for evs. You know, have that soulmate energy that got your back. They got you, good or bad, and everything in between. But a true soulmate energy is out of love. A true soulmate energy is also somebody that's not just gonna say the right thing so they don't like I would say like hurt your feelings, but like sometimes that soulmate energy is love, but it's tough love. Someone's gonna ask you some hard questions because they believe in you. If someone's just always like catering and doing everything right because they're afraid to ruffle anybody's feathers, that's like stagnancy on growth. So maybe somebody felt a little resentful that they're accepting less than they deserve, or they're feeling burnt out by, they're burning out on anything you're pursuing or anyone you're pursuing, then you're not pursuing what's really making you love and vibrant and flaming in your soul, because that makes you feel more alive, no matter how hard the work is. That is not a flame that goes out. If this is somebody burning the candle at both ends, that means that they're not really recharging from what they're doing. They're just getting drained constantly until they just don't want to do it anymore. So let's get one more. I like that was an extra message because all the rest was kind of positive. But, life is complicated. It's not always, I did see somebody talking. It's not always, happy. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you need to talk about the hard things. Sometimes you need to talk about the good things. Sometimes you need to talk about how you feel. Sometimes you need to talk about plans that you make together. Sometimes you need to talk about how if everyone else is always making the plans and you were never involved, you like to be involved in those plans, or maybe your plans are a little bit different. This could be somebody knowing they have to speak up to you, even if it starts out a little awkward in some cases. Maybe, the awkward is actually better. Here we are. Here you are. It is we, though. Wherever you are on that journey or conversation or silence, I just heard loud silence or not, whether it's a weird part of your journey, a strange chapter, or, a beautiful chapter full of moonlight and everything clicking together. You are where you are. So make the best of where you are. And if you are in a place where you'd like something to change, start to plan those changes now so that the next couple steps you take, you're not staying where you don't want to be. Extra messages today. Let's get one more. And maybe that's how you do it. Cut the strings of attachment to somebody being something in your life. Cut the strings. I mean, technically, if it's that, I will say, no matter how many string cutting things you do, you're going to be attached soul to soul, eternity. Time doesn't exist. It's not you can cut the strings and they're out. If it's somebody like that, your souls are tied forever. What your lessons are here, if you've come together in the same lifetime, are individual to each of you. But it's lifetimes for eternity together. Even if you're in different parallel lifetimes, there's still that energetic connection. So that is not really something you can cut. But you can cut strings of anybody that was more of a karmic energy. Because when you cut those strings, all of a sudden you feel relief. Like, you didn't know that was like, I just saw like a corset, like something like, like making you struggle in your breathing. I just saw picture you had a corset on all day, man or woman, doesn't matter. Picture the time when they wore corsets and you had to have like another person like and now you're going around and you're like holding, you like can't even breathe, man. And then picture that moment when you just like, it's like when you eat a lot, let's just say you have really good dinner, you ate way too much. I call that stretchy pants time. You have way too much to eat. You're like, oh yeah, these jeans are a little bag thing I need to put on the stretchy pants. And then just think about how much more comfortable that is. That's what cutting those strings of weirdness or attachment to an outcome or whatever it is that is making you feel tense, let it go. Once you have it, also, if something's meant to be, this isn't going away at all. If you have a energy that feels awkward, or it feels like a relief, or it's even something that evolves but separates but yet with love, that's more like a soulmate energy. It's always done in love. Karmics, not so much. It's a little awkward. It feels good to cut those strings. It can be a little harder if there's strings that need to be cut in a soulmate situation, but it will still be a natural severing or a natural distance, because a soulmate can come in your life for a moment. It can be somebody that's a stranger that creates a beautiful blessing of love or an inspiration in a conversation that you have that changes everything in your life. It's always love. So whether it's someone that is a friend that is in your life for 30, 40, 50 years, or it's a best friend you had at that place you worked where it was the only other person you really got along with, but you know what? Those moments of you and them, bantering together or having a good time at work when the rest of the situation you eventually cut the strings with was done, you still have that fond memory of that person that you connected soul to soul with. They were there to be the little sunshine, or maybe that was the person you connected with at a job that was like, yeah, why are you here? You're so much better than this. You're not happy. So I got you an interview somewhere else. I'm going to miss you. You're like my bestie, but you deserve better than this shit. Wow, that was so specific. But that's a soulmate. It's not always a lover. That's your lover, that's your person. It's not always like that. A soulmate's somebody that you have love for, and it's not a timing thing. This is a little different, but with the two flames, you have to trust yourself. Your journey is your journey. The answer is not out there. It's in your soul. And hopefully, if you make a connection like that, it's every conversation you get to have with somebody that special to you. Maybe something is coming soon. And also pay attention to repeating numbers. This is going to be synchronicity for you. So you see somebody's birthday, you just see the same number over and over. Maybe that's your sign that something is coming soon into your life, or maybe you're the one arriving in somebody's life soon. Maybe this had to happen first. Maybe this happens because of somebody you meet. It doesn't have to be anything that feels like it's like somebody's birthday either. It could just be a number that starts appearing, like on the license plate, on your receipts, when you look at the clock, just anywhere. So pay attention to what those numbers are and maybe look up that number. I guess speaking of numbers, maybe that was our sign to pull an angel number. So let's get an angel number. What's an angel number for the collective, please? And thank you. Angel number, please. On repeating numbers coming soon. Cut the strings. Talk to flames. Here we are. Not being too ahead of yourself and not getting overwhelmed or swallowed by what was. It's just, here we are. Thank you for being here with me. All right, let's get you one angel number. One angel number, please, and thank you. What is the biggest message angels have? Shift 565. Very specific. It's not like a number you'd see on a clock. Shift gears. Take a look at your life and see which areas need to be shifted and to bring you more joy. Yeah. Where can you have more joy in your life? What areas? So what you're working on? Is it extracurricular activities? Is it signing up for something you've never tried? Is it a big experience? Is it a vacation? Is it getting back to work? Is it putting more attention somewhere? Take the time to reassess your priorities and create a plan for yourself. Here you got somebody planning for you, but what are you planning for yourself? Let's go to the tarot. I'm going to go to this one though. I think. Yeah. Let's start with one. I just thought of the after tarot. So maybe we'll do that. Let's go. I just heard extravagant. There's some words that come through. Let's get extravagant here and start with the regular tarot and go to the after tarot. So extravagant. Thank you for being here. I know I'm such a dork. Let's get one from here and then we'll clarify with the after tarot, because it's sort of like the little snapshot that happens after the scene that happens in the traditional. I don't use it very often. So what's the main focus right now for the collective today? That would be helpful. Main energy, focus, situation. That would be shifting. That's absolutely the last card that came through. That's juggling different opportunities, juggling different situations. Somebody's feeling like they're always juggling and they're always accommodating everything. And eventually that juggling act is going to get tired. So what do you do with the different areas in your life that you are holding on to and maneuvering around and having your schedule so you don't feel like everything's the heavy bowling ball? So you feel like you can maybe have the one boat here where it has the motor and maybe the other one where it has the sails, and it's just kind of, you know, bobbing along with the winds of change as they come. This is something that has to be addressed and reassessed, readjusted in your everyday world. So whatever was heavy is creating too much strain and stress. And the thing you want to do on the back burner over there, that would be so much fun. You keep putting on the back burner. Put the heavy thing down, you know, even, I don't know, I just heard ask for help. Or there's somebody else that can help you with something you felt like you were the only one that can hold. There's someone else that can take some of the weight off of you here. And I feel like maybe part of that weight coming off is you starting to have more moments with maybe somebody in particular. I mean, that could be a friend. But I feel like it's more of that lighthearted energy that needs to be placed in a situation, because this is where you could be making decisions that are constantly keeping you heavy or balanced or stagnant, you know, like a little bit drained. Because if you just kind of adjust something in your schedule or the way that you're doing something, all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's like that, you know, all of a sudden you put your stretchy pants on. So let's see why the 2, sometimes the 2 is also a decision that has to do with your everyday world or someone else is making. It has to do with their everyday world. This guy has the weirdest hat. I don't know why he has such a weird hat. Makes me think of the cone heads or like the Egyptian mummies. Let's see. Clarify the 2 of Pentacles, please. Why is the 2 of Pentacles here? What do we need to know about this juggling act or no longer juggling something that it comes through? Guess what? Having a conversation, taking the hood off of your eyes and seeing something clearly. Also, it's that release energy. You have this falcon here. It's a badass bird. The hand coming out of the sky here, the hand of God, even has a glove on. They're like, yeah, the falcon has some talons on them. So there's this energy where there's that release, letting that bird go, but also the trust, knowing that bird is going to come back. You're going to still protect yourself with that big glove. But this is something that is a conversation that you let go of or you allow to unfold naturally. Don't have your blinders on. Sometimes this intelligence, clarity, epiphany, mindset. Maybe somebody had a mindset that they couldn't see something clearly, or a mindset that they couldn't fly freely. Maybe this is somebody that had to retrain their brain to know there's a different way to do something. There's also something where this conversation, this talk is getting grounded on the earth. I said something before about fitting. What did I say? What did I say when you had the puzzle piece? I think it was the first thing that came out. Like I said, somebody fits you like a glove. You know, maybe this is a perfect match, but they're really different. Upside down, it's not talking about it, not mentioning it, you know, not ever bringing it up, sweeping it under the rug, or talking about something but not being direct or not being honest or not being open or not being transparent. It's sometimes questions. Sometimes this is somebody having an honest talk with themselves, with who they are. It could be an honest talk with somebody else as well. If that was a talk or a conversation that was being ignored, I feel like somebody's not ignoring that. There could also be an energy here where somebody was, I mean, you have accommodation over there. So if somebody is kind of that person where somebody doesn't want to like ruffle any feathers, you know, put on your kid gloves, make sure you don't upset that person, breaks the balance of I'm getting that yes dear, but that feels so fake. I keep hearing that. I don't think that's everyone's situation, but I keep hearing like, yes dear, whatever you want dear. Okay, dear. Like if someone doesn't even want to fight, they don't want to even like have an honest conversation because they're afraid that somebody's going to freak out or somebody's going to stress them out, or, you know, that's going to ruffle the feathers of their everyday situation. And I feel like somebody's ready to ruffle some feathers. That's sort of what I see. So let's go back. Let's go backwards. Don't be afraid to ruffle feathers, you know, especially if it's speaking truth, especially if, you know, there's something really important that could really bring some balance back in your life. Because the more you think you're not ruffling the feathers, the more imbalanced something becomes. Whereas it could be a conversation that might be hard, but all of a sudden everything feels better. That would be somebody who knows how to have a conversation. It could also be that somebody's afraid that they're going to ruffle her feathers. She's like, oh yeah, come here. You want to have a conversation? Come on. Don't worry about my big sword here. You know, I'm sitting here. I'm relaxed. So that is a sword of truth. This is somebody that's not afraid to speak their truth. This is a amazingly strong feminine kind of energy where she's sharp. She knows how to start a conversation. She knows how to change how she, you know, how she gives that information so it is received and heard. She knows how to sit and listen because she doesn't want to just sit there blabbing and overpowering somebody, or she might make the wrong decision. You know, if she's only listening to what's going on in her own head, she's closing off a lot of amazing information that could come in. But if she's constant, like if she's upside down and she is a mental manipulator, she would love to mess with someone's mind because she's still smart, but she wants to make somebody confused. She wants to make somebody, she's not really the emotional one. She's almost somebody that comes out so direct, but she can be kind of nasty upside down. I'll look at her just a little bit upside down. That would be somebody you'd probably want to cut some strings for. You know, you'd probably want to cut that repeating situation out. Because if she's upside down, she just says things to hurt. Even if she comes across as being really sweet, her intention is to misconstrue information. Sometimes she's even sitting in the background, kind of like playing with her little puppets. You know, and she can come across as very kind and very composed, and you know, she never do that, but yet she's like whispered something to this person, whispered something to that person, whispered something to over there, and you don't even know, all these people don't know their little components in her little mind game. But when she is upright, she's one of my favorites. When she's upright, she's the one you brainstorm with. She's the one that would stand up for a friend, that she's the one that would have that talk. You know, go, you know, your soulmates, your besties at work, but she knows that person over there is never treating you right. And she'd be like, first she'd stand up for you. Second, she'd tell you that you need to stand up for yourself. But she's so brilliant with the way she expresses herself that lessons are heard and learned. She's like a genius. She's really great, but that energy of, you know, holding that sword, you're not quite sure always where she's coming from because you don't always know what's going on in her mind. She doesn't always let out everything that she's thinking. Sometimes she just sits back and she lets somebody like flub their own situation up. Sometimes she sits back and she observes something so that she can, you know, really assess what is going on and make a correct, accurate intro or decision or communication, because now she has seen everything. You know, she doesn't want to like dive into something without knowing. She also knows what she deserves, and she won't accept less than she deserves. She can start her own company. You know, she doesn't need anybody else to be dependent on, because usually this is like the divorcee, or sometimes it is. It's somebody who can be perfectly okay on her own. She doesn't need anybody else to, you know, tell her what she's thinking. If she's upside down, she could be somebody who's codependent, which is she's not in her highest vibration. If she's always relying on somebody else to, what do I do now? How do I open the pickle jar? Oh, I always need this. Or how do you do the jumper cables? Or whatever it is. You know, if she's always relying on somebody else, even if it's almost phony, like she needs their help, so she keeps them there. There's still something like kind of intelligent about that weird energy. I hope that made sense. That is not everyone's situation, and I'm not sure why that came through that way. But when she is upright, she could be somebody who's, you know, someone's a little afraid. They're like, I don't know. You know, she always rips, you know what, because she knows what she's talking about. And if somebody is not wanting to be out of, where's a situation they prefer to be blinded by, then she might not, that might be somebody intimidating to have a conversation with. But when she's upright, she's gonna know when to pass that sword. Your turn. But she wants the truth. You know, if you're telling her a big old fibberoo, she's gonna know it. And she's also someone that if somebody is not really treating her as valuable or as, you know, phenomenal as she is, because she's amazing. She's so freaking strong. It's also an air sign, by the way. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Then she'll cut that string herself. She's not going to wait for somebody else to cut the strings of attachment if she knows it's not right for her. She's like, bye. So let's see why the Queen of Swords is coming on in. Tell us about the Queen of Swords, please. Just clarify Queen of Swords. Please and thank you. Ooh, what is that one? What is that one? Oh, yeah, Judgment. That's what somebody's all nervous about. And guess what? Flipped out too. So that's cool. Hold on. You see how these are? So here, this is the moment, and now this is the other moment. So here, this person had the back turned to the boat, and a little boat here, a little boat here. All these waves are kind of like, you know, doing their little juggling act. And now it looks like somebody has done a big turnaround. It's like one of those boats has arrived at shore. It could also be somebody who's walking towards that boat. This person had to readjust a lot in their everyday because something is leaving or someone is leaving. Maybe because somebody's in or out or there's changes in your everyday world. That's why this adjustment has to be made. It's also when you get this big calling. Do I have to cover it? No, I don't. They're good. When you get the Judgment, you know, you have, this is like feeling like you are alive again, heading towards that ending, heading towards the world. The angel is coming out of the sky. They're like, okay, I got rid of my bird and my glove here. I got my trumpet out and or do 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 do. Here's your calling. You know, come out of that grave that you dug yourself, or that, you know, thing where you're just going by the bones of a situation. You've now addressed the bones of a situation, and now all of a sudden you're elevating, you're lifting up, you are rising to the occasion, you're tapping in your divine energy. You're letting go of that old stuff that needs to be buried from your past because you recognize what you did that you don't like, you don't repeat. And then you look at that Judgment energy and you see those beautiful seeds that you have planted and those things that were gifts and, you know, blessings that are going to grow into your life of abundance, and you keep that. It's just having self-awareness of everything, being human and being divine. Do you grow from your lessons or do you not? Do you repeat a cycle or do you change because of it? There are some cycles that are meant to repeat, but there's always an evolution and a growth that should come out of it. Otherwise, it's just stagnancy. Judgment's big. It's releasing judgments on others. Some people learn their lessons. Some people don't. Some people learn their lessons, but it takes a long ass time. And some learn that shit right away. Not going to do that again. Lesson learned. Check, check. So, and every situation is different, but this is resurrection. Also something that maybe you thought was long and gone, maybe is not. But you resurrect with that new vitality, that different energy. Upside down, it's karmic entanglement. Not even recognizing when you have karmic entanglement. Not ever making little changes in your everyday world to have something be different. Recognizing something's holding you back from living your truth and you're not cutting the strings. It could also be that somebody else cut the strings because that's their truth and you're trying to grab that string and hold on to someone else's situation. That was an interesting thing to see. You know, if anybody cut the strings to you, let that be a relief. Let that be what you needed to know. Because that just gave you the stretchy pants you need to head towards this new world of potential and the new cycle of the Fool. I also feel like there's something that somebody was needing to talk about, and they thought that they could just kind of box it up in this grave, you know, in this coffin here, and put it away and never like touch it again. But if there's something that was an internal struggle or an internal thing somebody went through where they really needed to look at it, you know, tap into it, feel it, and then grow or heal because of it, tucking it away, it's gonna just like, it's gonna like sneak back like, boo, you thought you forgot about this, boo. You know, it's something that somebody needs to look at, not be scared of, address, see it for what it is, and then all of a sudden it transmutes. You know, that pain transmutes into love. That energy you went through transmutes into new possibilities. It's that. It's not just pretending it's not there, sweeping it under the rug. The elephant's not in the room. You don't see it. You know, so let's get a final message. I already pulled the what is that? The universe one. So let's do one. What is one more final message from the angels? Please and thank you. Angel message to end this. I'm going to do it like this because these are kind of an awkward shape, even though they're beautiful. What is one angel message? That's what somebody maybe was sweeping under the rug. The inner child. That could be something that somebody went through, like packed away years ago. Sometimes you block something away, you don't even know it was an issue, but yet it's causing like little issues in your relationships or in your everyday world because it's maybe what you were taught, maybe what society said, maybe something that was so extreme you didn't even want to think about it anymore. You blocked it out as a child, but then as an adult, you didn't recognize that that is like kind of the root of a situation that keeps popping on back. If something pops on back in your consciousness or your soul knows that, maybe that's a trigger. Maybe that's something I repeat in my life. Maybe I am a factor in why that is always going on. Why is it they always do something when that happens like that? Why does that person not do it like that and that seems to work? Or why does that person do it like that and that just never works? It's not judgment on those situations or yourself. It's awareness, which is what I saw with that queen. So internal changes can happen. I don't even know what this said. Nurture your inner child and begin to express the awesome beauty that you hold within you. We live in a world where formula exists for everything. The old formula, it has to be like this. They do not need to be yet. Wait, what is that? Formula exists for everything, yet love and creativity. Interesting. Have no formula. They do not need to be studied, simply nurtured. Regularly set aside some time to just play. That's exactly what I saw. That's your double message here. You have to regularly put in your adult schedule a little time to have some fun. Whether it's, an hour, throwing the football with your kids or your grandkids, or it's 3 hours you get to go and get your hair done with your bestie, or it's a weekend that you go to have some sassy time with your twin flame or missing piece or whatever it is. Hang out at the beach, whatever it is, whatever you find fun, even if it's just a little time to play and get creative, and that maybe even spark something more creative that you can do that ends up to be I actually heard like your new career. But if it's not fun, it's just a job. If it's fun, if it feeds your soul, if it flames your spirit, it's legacy. Without a bit of ado, I love you so much. I hope this reading was helpful, and I very much look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you for being here and blessing my life. I love you. Bye.